Greetings and salutations, universe. This is Creeta. I have a turtle on my head, and this is still Oceanblock. Look at those ships. Oh, I wish... Oh, elevators are funny. I wish that those were a little bit better. They are still so cool, but they're just not that efficient. Alright, we are going to jump into Powah today. Powah! And before that, I just want to address a few tiny little things. First of all, this thing is amazing. I just ran it. We're at 145 levels, and let's use a bunch of them. 117. We're almost at a whole nother row of these trinkets. I think we won't need... I don't think we'll need to finish this row. We have a bunch of empty slots. I don't even want to turn my enemies on fire. I don't think I want to knock them back. I don't want more bones. And auto smelting is nice sometimes, so having an empty slot is good. And I found the turtle shell. We can now breathe underwater. The turtle shell was rather annoying to get. Turtle shell, it was from Purple Barrels. Another one I'm searching for is Magneto, but surprisingly at a rate of 0.654%. I have not found these. I've been searching, but that is fantastic. Now, if you were paying attention to the loot that we got from the quests in the last episode, you might have seen something. We got a jetpack. I believe it was a gold jetpack. I'd already got an iron once, I just never saw them. I forgot that jetpacks exist. So I got a netherite jetpack, and we have bauble slots with a jetpack slot. So we'll put that in there. And now we can go up. We can go up. And our speed boost from one of our trinkets, I believe it's the Zoom Rock Candy movement speed, seems to be more effective when we're in the air. I made this observation when I jumped off of something. Oh, we got bee nests, grew some birch trees, all that good jazz. So it seems to be very hoppy, right? So the jetpack makes that better, and we can also hover, and that is super fast. Alright, so we have movement, we have flight, and now I want to test the breathing. We have water breathing. Let's make sure we don't drown. Bubbles, my bubbles. And it is staying at 45 seconds. So I think we're good. We could have put water breathing... Oh, I did put water breathing on the helmet. Well, between the turtle thing and this helmet, I think we're good to go. So we can put away our scuba gear. We don't necessarily need that anymore. Still probably want to get some mending on our armor, but that's okay. Where does our gear go? I don't remember. I think it must go up here. Oh boy. Apparently cobblestone really wants to go in there. Is it also going in there? It's not. Why is it going up there? Huh. Alright, well, that's all good. Alright, Powah. So, we have a bunch of quests for it. We have, Magmator, Ender Cell, some cables, we need Energizing Orb, and I think we basically just need a space to be able to set this stuff up. Solar panels, Ender Gates, Discharger, very neat. And the biggest thing is probably the reactor. I don't know if we want to just jump to the biggest one. If we can, that would be really cool. What one is the biggest one? Blazing? Stored. I think we want this number to be the biggest. So, nitro? Yeah. Can you do anything with these? No. How do you make these little capacitors? You need to upgrade with nitro crystals. How do you get nitro crystals? Oh! Nether stars? Alright. We'll start with something simpler. Alright. So, we need a little platform, and we've made one. Quick little setup here. Just a basic platform, center block, a little bit of lighting. We even have some mega torches under there, just in case. We have a little iron chest with some goodies that we've gotten from quests. I'm sure we've gotten more of this. Crates drop this diametric stuff, or dielectric, all of the time. So let's take a look at Powah. What is the primary ingredient to Powah? Looks like we have clay, coal, either lava or blaze powder. Probably going to go with blaze powder because we have a bunch of all of this stuff from sifting. We also got some of these energy hoppers. We have basic capacitors, tiny, which suggests that there's a normal one, redstone, iron, and there's that dielectric plate stuff. I've never played around much with Powah, so this is very much a learning experience for me. Looks like you get to upgrade batteries pretty standardly, like so. So whatever that last one is going to be nitro. That is sort of the goal, I think, is to get to nitro. And as we did discover, we're going to be needing nether stars for that. So we're probably going to want to get a wither killed or two. We need to be able to get the nether star shards so we can start crafting nether stars as rapidly as possible. I keep seeing all of these like upgraded power pots. I'm really looking forward to playing with that, but it takes fusion. I don't think we're quite at fusion yet. Maybe we could pull it off if we diverted into draconic evolution, but we're focused on Powah right now. Other aspects of it, it looks to just be a tiered system. So we have all of the things that the quest suggested, and the goal is to upgrade materials using this energizing system, however that works, and get the upgraded materials that we then use to go up the chain towards higher tier things. All the way from basic to nitro. And it looks like we have, from starter to nitro. So that means we have about 7 tiers, I believe. And wow, so we could be generating, that has an extract of 800. You can see that on the tooltip. Extract of 4K, but it generates 800. So it's not a ton even at nitro, but the nuclear one, the reactor, that might make quite a bit. So this can generate 4.5K a tick, and that is pretty good. I don't know if we have anything bigger in the mod pack, but I also don't know if that's per block or for the full 36 system. I did get a book which sort of explains the mod pack. I'm sure we could dive into this and really read everything that there is to say. The thing I'm really curious about is this reactor. But we're still not there yet, right? I keep jumping ahead of ourselves. We need to get to these energizing systems. So I think this is what we focus on first. Dielectric rod. So we're going to need some of this dielectric stuff, a whole bunch of it. And it looks like we need to craft it in a directional based system, which is kind of frustrating for a crafter, but I wonder if we can set something up for that. So because these two have the same recipe, if you think about it, they take the same resources. I was thinking about how I want to limit how many are coming out. And I think we're just going to make sure that we control our output on this crafter so that it can only make enough to be able to fill that space. I think that will be a good system, and we'll just put a memory slot on that. I'm also thinking about how I want to be able to just plonk stuff into this. I want to be able to throw a whole bunch of blocks of iron in here, along with things like anything to make the diametric paste. I think that can be internal. So whatever we toss in here is just going to make a whole bunch of this stuff, but it can get full pretty quickly, and we don't really want that. So the next step is to be focused on these rods. Now we could have a system. I don't know what we do for inventory management in this pack. I believe digital storage, we have access to ME, so we could do applied energetics. We also have the security management system, and what mod pack is this? Refined storage. That's right. We have refined storage as well, so we could be doing that in this system. Just kind of I'm avoiding it for some reason. Don't necessarily know. So external, we can apply that, and once we clear up a spot, we want to make sure that it doesn't get filled by iron bars. It's a little bit problematic, but I suppose we'll just toss out all of the iron for a second. We want to be able to remember these spaces and make sure that we don't let them get filled by anything else. These things are tricky to work with. But maybe we can just take that off the gas for a second, and we'll put another recipe in for that. And now if we shift click, shift right click, how do we forget everything you know? There we go. So now we have a spot remembering iron bars, dielectric, and horizontal. So everything should be sorted to be able to make other things for us, at least in theory. I tell you, trying to wrap my head around this is tricky, but I think once we get there, it'll be all good. So we have our rods, and we can get more. Beautiful. Toss these in here, and it should craft for us these casings on their own. And if we put in the other things, it should make some capacitors. Nice. So we have the basics down. I think these are the foundation blocks, and everything should be hunky-dory. So we have energy cells, mag matters. Cool. Now all we need to do, and we have a fast travel dislocator back to our base, so we can grab things like redstone blocks, which I think are about to come in real handy, and accidentally pick up things like gold chunks. Put that back in the system. I think we're going to be able to skip the starter energizer rod, because looking at this, if I remember correctly in my very basic understanding of Powah, we need this base number to be high enough to turn it into the next thing. So one thing we might be targeting is energized steel, which is sort of the tier 3 thing, but if we go with the basic one first, I think we're going to be able to go for the blazing crystals, which is tier 4, and that has the basis a base number that will allow us to jump even higher. At least that's the idea, and I think we have the resources to do that. So energizer rod, we need to get a whole bunch of basic. Oh well, we need to make the starter basic one. Okay then, so much for that idea. I guess we have to literally evolve things as we go. That is unique, but that's okay. We are learning, and that is the process. Energizer orb. Ay. Is this just the base? We only need one type of energizer orb. Okay, well at least there's that. So once we have the glass for that, everything should be sorted, I think, right? We just need the one orb. Beautiful. There's a quest complete. That must mean we're on the right path. And for the starter, we need some quartz, which I think I got rid of it at some point, but I'm sure we have more. Specifically, we have... Where is our quartz? Quartz? Where did quartz go? Ah, it's from lava. Yeah, maybe we should have a system in place to process all of this stuff. I'm starting to think that, yeah, but that's okay. No big deal. Here's some quartz. Fantastic. Just plonk that in there, and we are good to go. So, these energizer rods, I think we just want a bunch of them. 30 might be excessive, but that's also what we do here, is building excessively. Alright, so I looked at this energizer orb. We basically want to have a whole bunch of these rods nearby, and that will speed along the crafting. So we'll just plonk the Energizer orb right in the middle. We'll figure out auto crafting afterwards. And these rods, I think we just want to upgrade them right away, right? How are we going to do that? So, yoink, place that in there, but I think we can use redstone? No, can we use normal quartz? Maybe? Perfect. Apply, and I think we can go internal because we're going to be tossing in a bunch of these, and we need to give it those, and then the cube guy. How do we get the cube guy again? I think we need this, this. Toss those in there. Why no cube? Iron? Probably need iron. Oh, this system is very interesting to be sure. So all of these just got upgraded to basic. Excellent. And we can take these out, and we just need to power them. We have our flux points, which can transfer a bunch of power. We could put one on each, and for a moment I think we can do that, just like so, and we'll just plonk these right on top. I think we're powering them in our system, which is funny. And now if we put in, yeah, these are getting stored with power because we have the our flux network is charging things in our inventory, which is funny. Now if we put in something like a blaze rod, then we should be in business. Now I did get started a small little blaze flower right there, and we should have enough blaze essence, hopefully, to make some rods. At least we will in a quick moment, especially after bone mealing it a little. There we go. Perfect. I'm sure that we have blaze rods elsewhere, but I really wanted to do it using the system that we found in the last episode. Alright, so back up to here, and what happens if we plonk a rod in there? Little lasers appear, and this is now being powered. You can see at 18%, 20%. So this is not fast. This is outputting 50 per tick, and I believe that for this rod we need to have quite a lot. Max IO stored. Can we just go all the way? I am curious. What can we make with this? So if I just want to try putting in an emerald and get a spirited crystal and see if that functions, or if it will just take an astronomically long amount of time. I'm sure that we have to go through all of the phases. I thought we could skip them, but that is just not the case, and apparently I had a quick little teleport to our ender farm, our experience farm, and not a teleport back. These things are very handy, but also very confusing. Alright, toss that in there. Will these charge it? They will. It's just going to take a long time. Very interesting. So we can just upgrade these incrementally, and we don't necessarily need to worry too much about it. All we need to do is power them, and then as we upgrade our rods, it's going to upgrade our capability to make these faster. Very, very neat. Now, one thing I found is that this orb can take as many of a single item as we feed it. So if we feed it with a transporter, that's really bad. Specifically, it'll get too full. So we have a quick little setup. We have the dropper here. This is going to make it so that only one item from each dropper goes in. That way, if we're making something like hardened steel, we can put exactly what we need, like iron ingots and gold ingots, in here, and it should function. So this timer ticks down, and then it's going to feed into this guy the iron and the gold. It makes the blazing, and then it immediately gets transported away. We have a bunch of energized steel. Now all we need to do is do the same thing with diamonds, some emeralds, and some blaze rods, and then we can plonk everything into here, and it will just go all the way from a basic rod all the way to spirited, and we'll do nitro in the next episode. but we should have exactly what we need to, if we want, we can plonk in those, we get our hardens, and we can plonk in all these other ones. How fast is this? Now I did upgrade one rod because we had an issue with recording, so this one up here is spirited, and this has improved the speed by a significant margin. Even diamonds were taking a fair bit of time, and I don't quite have the timing down yet. I was hoping that maybe like an observer, if we plonked one down in a way that it looks at it, that maybe the observer could see the state changing from empty to full, but it just didn't exactly work the way I wanted it to, so we're gonna have to figure out another system for that. Possibly a capacitor might work, or a comparator, but for right now this system is working pretty good, especially once I can figure out the timings. Now I could always just change this to something a lot higher, like 30 seconds or so, and that would function, though 30 seconds does take a fair bit of time, especially if it starts in an empty state. That's kind of a bummer. So just have to figure out a system for that. Yeah, 300, yeah, that's far too much. Let's go with 300. We'll tick that and go from there. Let's see if 300 is a good timer. Here it comes. It'll tick. Diamond goes in. Now we just kind of want to try and pay attention to when that goes out. So it was around the 180 mark, so that's about 120 ticks. So we can alter this one to 120, maybe go on the high side, 125, and now this diamond will go and fairly close to the next one. If we had more diamonds in there, this could, in theory, make all of the niotic crystals that we need. So diamond goes in, and assuming that we have the timing correct, the next one goes in pretty close to the right time. And we could have multiple timers set up for each crystal type, and that would be a option, but maybe not the ideal. As we upgrade the rods, those times can go down, and I think this, yeah, maybe that is a pretty good system. I like it. I like it a lot. I have to say, this is actually really fun. Trying to figure out the right timings on this is pretty neat. I'm surprised by that. All right, so we can shave off like 170, so 500, so like 330, something like that. I'm really surprised that it is kind of fun to try and get the timers set to the right time on this. It's hilarious. Not something I was expecting. How many? Okay, we can definitely shave off like another 50. How cool is that? Oh, I love it. All right, so once this is full up with a couple more emeralds, we should have exactly what we need, and then we can upgrade another rod. Specifically, we can come over here. We have a whole bunch of basic capacitors, which we just turn them into large ones. And then we take those larges along with the dielectric casings, doink, toss those in here, and we should go all the way from basic to at least spirited, because that's the one that the emeralds give. Oh, hey, it's a wandering trader. Hey, we can see him because of the trinket. Oh, that's cool. Which one was it? I thought this thing was going to be absolutely worthless. Which one? Mirror? Horseshoe? One of these allows us to see, there it is, mind's eye. We can see invisible entities. That is pretty neat, actually. And, oh, it is nighttime, so we might be getting those silly little phantoms coming at us. Man, basic mechanics. I love it. That is so funny. Now, we obviously got the timing wrong on this because it was a little bit aggressive, and it filled up all of the emerald slots. Ah, well, that's okay. It's a pretty neat little mini game if you let it. I'm sure there is a better system for doing this, but for the moment, I like it. This is wonderful. Just to demonstrate how satisfying this is, watch this as it goes from 90 it empties and it... Why'd the emerald not fill up? I thought the timing was perfect. Excuse me. Tick. There we go. A moment ago, it was just on the dot perfect. Just to demonstrate how lovely this is. It emptied and immediately an emerald filled it. Oof. Just the best thing. Oh, we only need one more. Beautiful. Alright, so ignore the leads. They didn't come from anything. We can take our Niotic, Blazing, and the Spirited, come over here, and toss those in there. And this is going to give us a couple of the capacitors. Flow those in there. We're going to grab one of these rods. Now, keeping in mind that these rods, the basic ones, I think they only output 50 per tick. And the Spirited ones that it just upgraded all the way down the line to is 1.2 thousand. So one of these rods is worth, what is that? My math is rubbish right now, but like 200 or 20? I think 20. 50 times 20,000, 60? Anyway, it's worth a whole bunch of these rods. So now, in theory, if we were to put in diamonds was pretty good on 125. Let's see what that looks like on the new rod upgrade. So now I get to play this mini game all over again. So it fills up, gets to 100. We have about a second or so I can shave off. I won't go too aggressive, but we'll go with like 105. Apparently I was a little bit off somewhere in that, especially because as you change it, it does mess with the timing a little bit. Fills up. And oh, lovely. I love it. The system is wonderful. Couldn't be happier. How cool is that? Almost as cool as the end of the episode. Now I should note really quick that we're still powering this with carrots. This system is flowing, and that power is going down this line and going into this plug. Now it is being powered with 1.6 thousand, which probably means that we are going down in power as we use this upgraded system for Powah, but I'm hoping that in the next episode we can get a new source of power, specifically something nuclear, and that's going to be just a great time. Yeah, 4.7 thousand out. Definitely need to upgrade our system, but oh, this is just splendid. I couldn't be happier with this little system. It's not the best looking, maybe we can improve that, but I think that that is a wonderful spot to stop in regards to this. Powah is pretty neat, and I am super happy. So this was Creeta, this was Powah Part 1, I still have a turtle on my head, and this was Oceanblock by FTB. Bye-bye!